Former President Donald Trump sitting down with Sean Hannity in Iowa last night, where the Republican caucus will kick off in just 6 short weeks. It was an hour-long town hall, but it was this quick exchange that caught everyone's attention.
The media has been focused on this and attacking you. Under no circumstances. You are promising America tonight you would never abuse power as retribution against anybody.
Except for day one.
What did he say?
Except
Look,
what?
he's going crazy. Except for day one.
Meaning?
I want to close the border and I want to drill. He says, you're not going to be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one.
I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
We're closing the border and we're drilling. After that, I'm not a dictator. After that, I'm not a dictator. After that, I'm not a dictator.
Fox News contributor and columnist for The Messenger, Joe Concha, joins us now. Joe, when we say that moment caught everybody's attention, we mean that it caught the media's attention. The New York Times has a headline, Trump deflects question on retribution and law breaking at town hall. CNN, Trump sidesteps question when asked if he plans to abuse powers if reelected. And Rolling Stone's headline, Trump to Hannity on whether he'll abuse power as president. And they've included a shrug emoji. Also, the Biden campaign posted on social media that Trump said that he'd be a dictator on day one. Is that your assessment of what he said?
No, not at all, Carly. He was saying, and what I took away from it before you read those headlines, that he would likely use executive orders to close the border and drill back here in America again. And of course, the easiest bet you could make is seeing on other networks this morning having a complete and total meltdown over that comment when they know exactly what he meant, all while ignoring this fact. I can guarantee you won't see this in any stories and you will not hear this on any other networks. Joe Biden signed more executive orders and actions in his first 100 days, including multiple executive orders and actions on day one than Trump or Obama or George W. Bush. So much for the whole dictator thing. Overall, I think that Trump showed even more energy than usual. He fed off the crowd in ways which was extremely passionate, by the way, the crowd that was there, as we saw. And we would never see that kind of crowd or reaction with the current president. Overall, Trump sounded like a guy with the wind at his back. And that wind is real, as we're seeing in poll after poll, especially in swing states. And perhaps that's why you see such a panic on the Democratic side in terms of that dictator comment.
Totally.
But clearly Trump knew exactly what he was saying.
It was a joke. It was a joke. He was talking about
Yeah.
policy, and now the media is making something out of nothing.
And as Carly gave me the look, Joe, you literally took the words right out of my mouth because I said the same thing at the end. Meantime, President Biden telling Democrat donors at a fundraising event, quote, if Trump wasn't running, I'm not sure I'd be running, but we cannot let him win. Joe, what do you make of that?
Well, it's one thing to say, Todd, I want 4 more years because I want to fix and improve X, Y, Z. I'm the best man for the job because I have the best ideas, or I could unify the country, or I have much unfinished business to accomplish. Instead, to say, well, if I were running against Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley, I'd probably drop out. But since it looks like Trump will be the nominee, I guess I'll stick around. That is not leadership. That does not inspire confidence. You have to run for president if you think you're the best person for the job, not because you think the other guy is not. So let's see Joe Biden do a town hall. Let's hear what his plan is around the economy that most Americans are still very dissatisfied with, about crime that many Americans don't feel safe in their own communities because of. Test scores came out yesterday. They are horrific when compared to the likes of China and other advanced nations. And you saw Bill Melugin's report yesterday, hundreds of people pouring into the country across the border. So overall, Joe Biden has to want the job, not just say, vote for me because the other guy's bad. It's not going to work. I'm sorry.
In recent days, you seem to issue a warning that if in the courts, and even the U.S. Supreme Court, if they didn't treat you fairly, that maybe there would be bedlam in the country. Use that word, bedlam in the country. And in the last 2 days, at the same time, in the last 2 speeches, President Biden is focusing his campaign on the threat to democracy and political violence. Take a listen.
I'll say what Donald Trump won't. Political violence is never, ever acceptable in the United States political system. Never, never, never.
All right, so to Robert's question, this is clearly a focus of the Biden campaign. So can you say tonight that political violence is never acceptable?
Well, of course that's right. And of course, I'm the one that had very little of it. Take a look at wars. Again, I didn't start. I wasn't involved in wars. We beat the hell out of ISIS. We won 100%. We brought our troops back home. Look at the violence that we've had. Look at the violence we have recently.
Right, but when you say bedlam, what do you mean?
I think you have bedlam. I think you look at Joe Biden, it's bedlam. You have a man who can't lead. You have a man who can't find his way off a stage after he makes a speech that lasts for about 2 minutes. No, I think bedlam is Joe Biden. I think that he's using this. This is just a political ploy. Trump is a dictator. He wants to be a dictator. You know, it's interesting. I did a show, Sean Hannity. Did you ever hear of him? He's a very nice man. And he said, essentially, you're not going to be a dictator, are you? Tell me. I think he was trying to give me a nicer question that maybe you guys would. He meant it very well. I said, I'm going to be a dictator. For one day, we're going to do two things. The border. We're going to make it so tight you can't get in unless you come in legally. And the other is energy. We're going to drill, baby, drill. After that, I'm not going to be a dictator. After that, I'm not going to be a dictator. So
you weren't saying that if the
and the press picks it up. So I said, I'm going to be a dictator for one day. They cut it. They go, I'm going to be a dictator. But they cut the rest of the sentence. No, I am not going to be a dictator. I'm going to manage like we did. We were so successful that the country was coming together. It was actually coming together and coming together well. It was a beautiful thing to see, and we're going to do that again.
Yo, hit that like for deal with Christian. Yo, for deal with Christian. Smash that bell for DWC. Yo, smash it. Just smash it. Hit that like for deal with Christian. For deal with Christian. Smash that bell for DWC. Yo, smash it. Just smash it. Hit that life for a deal for Christian.